Yes, yes, yes. It's your boy AG the Dad. Once again, we are live with Shit Talking Sundays Fitness Tip of the Week. New platform, new intro. We just want to give you something new, something quick, sleek, and something different. But anyway, with that being said, we just need to jump right in with the one, the only Vince the Beast. What's going down, bro?
Hey, what's up with you, AG? How you doing, bro?
Man, I can't complain. It's another day where I'm about to learn some healthy tips for free 90 free.
Yep, free 90 free. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat that outside of me
Man,
coming to your doorstep.
what's up with you, man? Your energy level seems a little low. You have the Santa blues. Oh, I know what it is. It's today's topic. It's today's topic. I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag. You guys gotta first hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button, you know, and hit that notification button. And if you too want to be frugal like me, you too can get the free 90 free fitness tip every week if you tune in here at 6:30 every Wednesday with that man right there, Vince the Beast with Team Fitness Major.
And don't forget to hit that donate button.
Yeah, hey, we always happy with cash, man. We always happy to see cash. So you know, it's all good. So what you got for us today, man? I'm gonna give you the floor and let you do your thing, man.
All right, well, again, I always appreciate the link and appreciate you guys tuning in, checking it out. Don't forget, like I said, like, subscribe, share, comment, donate. This is your free fitness tip of the week. But if you want to get more in depth, of course, if you want to learn more about the process and the magic that we make happen over here with Fitness Major, hit us up. If you want to just get an inquiry or just ask a question about, how phenomenal the workouts are, or how to carb load, or anything basic, general question. How do I get started on my first day back in the gym? Hit that teamfitnessmajor.com, tune in, and hit that little contact us tab so that we can talk to you and discuss different options. Or if you want to just go ahead and get that free consultation, try to get you to a program that is best suited for you. You can do the new client survey, just a few questions. Go ahead and tag that on, and make sure that put in all, answer the questions honestly, because again, this is all about you. Personal training or personal coaching, individual coaching. I like to say personal because it is personal. It is solely about you. So the only way that we can help you, know about you, and help you is if you answer the questions upfront and honestly. Because lying to us doesn't help you, it doesn't help us. And the whole point of this process is to help you become a healthier, better you. And if you want to just go ahead and hit the phone number and give us a text or shoot us a call, 916 410 1950. And you can always email at fitnessmajor@gmail.com. So today I wanted to hit on something that is true to topic and true to form of where we are right now with everything going on. And that is, we have a lot of different things going on right now. And we might have had something new come on just about 5 minutes ago. I mean, who knows, right? Because it seems like every few weeks or every other month, there's something else going on. We got cold season, we got the flu, we got RSV, we still have COVID. So there's so many different things going on, and this is the really hot time of the year for cold and flu, particularly. And flu has really taken off early this year, and it's been taken off sooner, and it's been more severe than it has in previous years. This is the flu numbers that are coming up and coming in now are higher than it's been in the last decade. And so I don't know I don't know. We started talking with a friend earlier. I don't know if flu took a hiatus during COVID and recouped and came back stronger, but it said, I'm tired of being in the back seat. I'm tired of being pushed off to the side. Y'all just done forgot about us. So we gonna come back bigger, better, and stronger. It's been making gains over the last couple years. Cause yeah, people have been getting really sick off of the flu. And then this RSV thing is a whole nother respiratory issue. But it's up to you. However you guys operate, flu shots, um, vaccinations. That's up to you. We're not going to discuss. I'm not going to hit on that today. That's a personal choice, and so whatever you do is respect for that. But we're going to talk about, as always, me being the solutions-based expert. I want to offer you some solutions to be the proactive, which I always prefer. Be proactive and take that step prior to, or if you unfortunately, and if you're listening to the show, I did a live earlier and there was someone that had a cold when he was listening to me talk earlier. If you already are a person that already has a cold, we're going to try to help find a solution or help you to, not a quick fix, not one of those 5 minutes later you're up and jumping around again, but try to help you to get back on your feet, get back in rhythm, get back into your normalcy, right? So, as usual for me, I'm not a person, I don't prefer medications. I don't prefer taking a lot of the different things that you have to take for your, when you catch a cold or when you catch the flu. You got Tamiflu and Theraflu and NyQuil, DayQuil. I'm not a person that particularly take those myself, but I know that some people do. But to be honest with you, whole time, I don't really get sick. God's grace for that, and of course, putting in the work. But for honestly, I rarely ever get sick. I don't get colds or flu. I didn't remember the last time I had the flu. But in the event when I do get sick sometimes, and we're gonna touch on that in part of this what we're talking about today. In the case where I do get sick, it's really, fortunately, it's very really minor. Like I'm not bedridden, or I'm not, stuck down or sluggish. I'm not. I'm able to do my normal functions throughout my daily life. Like it doesn't affect me to that point, thankfully. But when I do get sick, one of the reasons is also one of the solutions I'm going to give today, and that's exercise. I know you're saying like, wait, hold on, like exercise, like how do you get sick from exercising? Well, that's what I'm going to explain. So one of the things that that will happen to you, right? And how I've gotten sick, few things. One, and this doesn't have nothing to do with COVID, but with exercising, they say that you can have too much of anything can harm you, right? You drink too much water at one time, you'll drown. So too much of one thing or too much of anything can also cause you setbacks or can be a detriment. So it's not necessarily too much exercise, but overtraining in the sense of work your intensity. So I always, of course, I preach about training high intensity and training at a high level and not going in there and just doing cupcake workouts. Because again, the body only adapts to the demands that you place on it, law of adaptation, right? But again, I also say, listen to your body. It's so important. And those that have started the journey, whether however you started, whoever you started it with, or if you started on your own, one of the things that you find, and some people may have found, is you get to learn your body. You get to understand your body. You can tell when you're getting sick, or you can tell when your body is like the difference between you're just tired that day and say multiple days of workouts, it's not the same. The energy is not there. The output is not the same. The volume that you're using or exercising on is not the same. You get to learning how to listen when your body becomes just like when I preach and teach about using perfect form or pristine form, like really good solid form and range of motion. Once you get an understanding, once you start to feel that your body, well, you can tell when your body is out of alignment. So these are just things that like that. That's basically the motor learning. I'll talk about motor learning, like your motor learning cortex. That is your body getting in alignment, and once you get into that alignment and your body starts to feel that, when you're out of it, your body, you can recognize it. Well, the same thing typically, most people when they start to get sick, they can kind of tell that, oh, I feel a cold coming on. I can tell when I'm feeling this. I can tell when it's this. Especially if you've experienced it a couple of times, you become familiar with how your body responds or how it's starting to make that transition when it comes to you feeling a certain way, getting sick, or your muscles are sore, straining, or whatever, right? So when it comes to exercising at high intensity, it's great, of course, but a few things that your body will do is your body will work to repair, which is what it's supposed to do. That's how your body adapts. You break down your muscle fibers, you tear down your cellular at the cellular level and at the structural level, right? You tear down the muscle fibers. So your body delivers the nutrients, delivers the blood, the oxygen, and delivers it basically dispatches all the things in your body, all how your body how it responds in the course of healing. It dispatches to that area, to the muscle group, to those muscles, and that's where its main focus is at that time, is getting your muscles to reattach or to build, and getting your bones to strengthen, right? So one of the things that tends to happen is your immune system can be compromised. And that's what usually gets me personally. Is your immune system can be compromised, so it's weakened because that's not a focus that your body is trying to deal with at that time. That's not the highest demand or the priority need. So in doing that, again, your immune is compromised. If you or around somebody that's sick, doesn't mean this happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but your body, if you're around someone who's sick, or and then they cough or they sneeze or their germs or whatever are around, get in around you, or if you are touching surfaces that then that wasn't wiped down by the person before you, and or you didn't wipe it down, and then you touch your face, that's typically a way of getting sick because if your immune system is compromised. So again, I'm not saying that don't train at a high intensity, but one of the things, if you are exercising and training at a high intensity and you start to feel those symptoms, it is recommended to not train, at a high intensity that you might normally do, to do more of a moderate intensity, because again, now you want to fight off the cold, and or if you have a cold, you want to minimize some of the damage that you cause to your body from doing doing these exercises, right? But we're gonna hit on that a little more in a minute, because I want to talk about, obviously, when you are training at a high intensity, some ways to help to balance that, to help to make sure that even though you might weaken your immune system, your natural immune system, there's other things that you can do and things that you can take, basically, that are natural for the body, natural foods and herbs and spices that will help your body to help to keep that immune system stronger, and when you are training at a high intensity, especially during, again, this time, cold season and flu season. So like teas are really good, particularly like herbal teas, ginger teas, because ginger is really good for fighting colds. Um, Elderberry tea are really good for fighting colds. Berries, for the most part in general, because of the antioxidants, will help, and the vitamin C are they're really good for those reasons alone. But of course, like I said, the tea is really good, especially like the herbal tea, and you think about like ginger tea because they're good for colds. Typically, what I like to do is I like to put, if it's a ginger tea, I will put in mine. I put turmeric. I put honey, which is another great one for colds. Vi- black seed oil, which most people, a lot of people don't know, and that's basically, I'll show you a couple. This is in a liquid. Black seed oil is really good. I just talked about the turmeric, just powdered turmeric. And of course, if it's not ginger, if it's lemon tea or something, you got your ginger, right? So, and I also will put some lemon, which has a high amount of vitamin C. So those are, and also those are great things for fat burning. Not as much like the black seed oil or even like the ginger or turmeric, but of course the acid from the vitamin C is good for fat burning. So which is good. Another good thing to use to put into, this is more, it's going to go into foods like rosemary and thyme. They are antivirals and high in antiviral and high in antibiotics. I mean, I'm sorry, antibacterials, right? So those are two great things to add to, especially this time of year. You're making chili, you're making soups, because it's not gonna be as strong, or even like people like make things like spaghetti, um, things like that that you can put in there. I make my jambalaya. I put thyme in mine. I don't necessarily put rosemary in mine. Be honest with you, I don't use rosemary much myself, but I definitely use thyme. Um, but and again, you just put a little bit in. It's not a lot. Teaspoon, dash here or there. You don't need a lot of it, but the consistency of the daily application of using that goes a long way. Like it stretches out, and it takes hold for a long time, right? So I already mentioned, so honey. So one thing I already mentioned, a couple of these, right? So honey, olive oil, particularly extra virgin olive oil, and um, gosh, what's the other one? ACV, apple cider vinegar. Like I said, we talked about NyQuil, DayQuil. Now I haven't tried this, but I know people that have, and I've read up on it. Basically, you can make like your own cough syrup with those three remedies. And of course, adding in water. I know a lot of people that make, and I've made it before, honey and garlic, like honey and garlic together, and mixing that typically like with like a tea or something like that, or putting it in the soup. Um, those are really good because the garlic is another a great one for busting colds. Mainly because most vitamins, but particularly like you think like a vitamin C, and you also think of like vitamin E. Vitamin E, most people are deficient in vitamin E because vitamin E it doesn't have a high content in most foods. So even the foods that do have vitamin E aren't very high in vitamin E. So that's usually one thing that I usually just take supplements. Um, so speaking of supplements, glutamine is another one. So glutamine, so if you know what BCAAs are, branched chain amino acids, they sell them in every gym, or fitness shop. It's part of the BCAA group, but usually if any, there's very little in like your BCAA drinks or your powders. You typically buy the glutamine separate. Glutamine has a lot of great purposes, especially for those that work out. because glutamine helps to reduce the DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, basically sore muscles. So after a workout, it's good to put glutamine into your shake. It's in this powder form. It's good to put in your shake and to drink that. And you typically only need about 2.5 to 5, uh, I think 2.5 to 5 grams. Basically, and most of them will come when you buy a packet. It'd be one of those two. So if it's 5, you just use 1 scoop. If it's 2.5, you use 2 scoops. Again, very little amounts, but it also is great for keeping your immune system up. That's the only part of the brain branch chain amino acids that will help with the your immune system, and again, it also helps with muscle recovery. So great things for that. So vitamin E, and if you need to do vitamin C also, it's fine too. Vitamin C is another. Those are like the three like the different supplements that I like to particularly use year round. But especially for cold season, it's really good this time of year. Cayenne pepper is another good one, and so of course you can sprinkle that in a lot of your foods. Like I pretty much put that on a lot of my meat. 'Cause I like to have some more spicy foods. Like to have my meat a little more caliente than those. So I definitely am a fan, and I am a user of the cayenne pepper. So those are the main ingredients that I like to use. Again, an ACV, of course, is really good. Echinacea. So like I usually get a juice. It has like lemon, ginger, and echinacea in it. And so those three components together are really good, or just taking them separate. So I've never had echinacea by itself, but I drink ACV daily. I already talked about the turmeric, the ginger. You saw the black seed oil daily. And I really want to hit on the vitamins though, because all vitamins aren't equal, right? So here's the bracket. So you want to have liquid, like this stuff is liquid, right? So liquid, then you have the gel tabs, then you have the capsules, then you have the tablets. So those 4. Well, and if you also could add in gummies, but pretty much in that order. Maybe you might play between the gummies and the tablets last, but those are at the bottom. Like those are like last resorts. And I'm going to explain why. And I'll start from the liquid first. So think about this. How does your body, and you look at this analogy. One of the reasons why protein drinks are so popular and they're so beneficial to people that work out, or especially post workout. So how does your body receive nutrients through your system, right? Digestive, through your bloodstream. So when you drink a protein shake, or when you drink, period, how does everything get transported to the muscles, to the bones, to the joints, to heal, to repair, to cover, to get stronger, all the above, through your oxygen and blood, right? So the simpler it is, and the less digestion that is needed from the body to break down the components or the compounds of whatever you ingest, to get it into the bloodstream to disperse throughout the body, the faster it's going to work, right? So liquid obviously it's already broken down. Gel tabs is basically gel inside of a little tablet or capsule. Little capsule thing, right? So that's going to break down pretty fast. It's just this your body's acid breaking down the surrounding layer of the gel. You also then you have the powder. Powder it's already broken down pretty much. It just has to get mixed when it gets mixed with your blood. Obviously, that's a liquid. Gets mixed with that, and then now, just like when you make your protein shake, you put the protein powder in there. A little bit of shaking, and it mixes pretty well, and it goes into the water or the milk or whatever you use, and it absorbs into it, right? So the same thing, same process when you think about it going into your body. And then we get into the tablets. So tablets, because they are hard pressed, you have. It's kind of like when you're at the grocery store. We talk about eating fresh or eating or shopping from outside of the aisles, as opposed to shopping in the center of the aisles. I mean, stores a lot now mix and match and change things up, but typically, and it's still like that. But a lot of the old school way was all the all the shelf stuff was in the middle, right? You get your fruits and vegetables was on the outside aisles. So it has to be processed more. And again, just like with the food that's in the box, the food that's in the can, food that's in a jar, whenever you whenever you have to break the stuff down and to store it, it needs to be processed more heavily. So because of that, it's going to cause it's not going to be as dense. So the value is not going to be as high. The funny thing with the gummies is kind of a mixture between soft tablets and gel. So because it's kind of in a mixture of the two compounds, it's kind of like in flux. So that's the same thing that happens with the nutrients in that because they can't solidify and then they also can't completely they're hardened but then they're soft at the same time. So you lose a lot of those nutrients that are in the like the gummy because of the mixture of those compounds. So that's why it's good to go from the process that I named, right? So again, back to the exercise. And again, if you guys have any questions, please, please, please feel free to leave a comment or ask. This is an interactive show, and I love to and do dialogue and or answer questions for you. So if you have any questions, always feel free to drop us a line. Or if you have questions after the show and you want to hit us up again, you can go to teamfitnessmajor.com and hit the contact us tab and say, hey, you know what? I heard the podcast on Shit Talking Sundays. I had a question about the gel tabs, or I had a question about the turmeric, or I had a question about time, whatever, or about exercise and how long, whatever your question is. Feel free, or again, if you do it on here, or if you do it on there, and you can always text or call at 916-410-1950. So back to the exercise. So again, not saying that you shouldn't train intense. Oh, it's cold season. I'm not going to train too hard. I don't want to get sick. I don't want anybody to go out there and try to say that. You know, no built-in excuses are given here. So you cancel that out right now. What I am saying is just to be aware. So if you start to feel like your strength is loosening, you start to feel like any type of cold symptoms, then just lower your intensity. Don't stop. Not saying stop working out, but maybe lower your intensity. And what I mean by that is maybe lower the weights, the weight amount, and doing more of a higher rep content, and or just doing more cardio. So the benefits of cardio, people say, oh, I got a cold, I got to run it out. People run it out, or they cycle, they bike ride. The great benefits of cardio is cardiovascular. It's short for cardiovascular. So you do cardiovascular training. Again, you're training your heart, you're training your lungs, your intestines, right? But another thing you're doing, a couple of the things that you are doing, is you're still creating that blood flow. Again, how do the nutrients that heal the body travel? Oxygen and blood through your body. Another great thing you're doing with cardio as opposed to weight training is you are not breaking down your muscles and all your bones and joints. You're not breaking your body down as same as if you are weight training. So doing cardio work or cardio training is going to help to, again, create that blood flow. It's not going to tear down the muscles, so your immune system isn't going to get weaker, but it's still going to activate your body and get everything flowing and keep everything open and moving, and it's going to keep you active, which is a great remedy for combating cold. Period, and just a great combating aging and being sedentary. So doing cardiovascular work is really good if you start to suspect that you're getting sick, and or even if you are sick. Now, of course, it doesn't. Everyone that gets sick is not able to do that, but the goal is as soon as you can to do that. And you think about and you know the importance of you exercising and doing that and doing, for me at least, natural remedies for keeping your immune system up, is because you know most of us unfortunately have a family member, or it might even be you, that is immune compromised. You've heard that so much, particularly if you didn't know anything about that, if you didn't know that word existed over the last 3 years, you know now. Because what have they been talking about? Oh, if you're COVID, for COVID vaccines, immune compromised people are high priority. They're at the top of the list. Or if you're have immune compromised, they may not have. If you had to come in for a surgery, or if you need to be admitted, they kind of pulled back on you doing the procedures, getting admitted, because you being in the hospital and the gyms are two of the most unsanitary places that you can be in. Period. So because of that, those that already have a weakened immune system, hence immune compromise, are more susceptible to getting these colds, flus, RSVs, COVID, right? And don't get it wrong. The flu, before all this other stuff, flu was very deadly, and it still is. It still can kill you, unfortunately. It doesn't happen as frequent because, one thing, they have a lot more knowledge and a lot more things that they can throw at combating it and or countering it once you get sick, and so there's a lot more awareness on it. So, but the problem again is being immune compromised. Unfortunately, a lot of that ties in with people that are immune compromised is being sedentary. I actually talked about that on the show a few weeks ago about all the different elements and things that are happening, and I did a lot of statistics, but a lot of them had a common denominator. They all had a centerpiece that lined up evenly, right? People that are diabetes, people that are obese, people that are overweight, people with high blood pressure, people with high cholesterol, people that have had strokes, heart attacks, things like that, high cholesterol. All of these different things, they play a role in the whole scale. That's why it is so important to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Healthy, partially being active, by monitoring your nutrition intake, by getting the proper rest. Because when does like I say before, the fat burning zone and your healing time is when you're at rest. That's what a doctor says after a surgery, or after a procedure, after you get some work done. Go get some rest. Go rest, right? Because that's when the body is in healing mode. Why is it in healing mode? A couple simple things. One, you're not doing anything to break down your body. If you're resting, Your body is healing. Your body is recovering. And again, when does the nutrients and stuff disperse? When does your body go to work on recovery? Is when you're resting. So that's why it's important. That's why I said my four pillars. One of them is sleep, because most people don't get adequate enough sleep, and because you don't get adequate enough sleep, your body does not produce. It does not get into that fat burning zone that it naturally will get into when you are resting, and it also won't heal your body. Hence, so you become immune compromised. So it is so important to take care of yourself and take care of yourself the best way possible. And by doing these things, that will help you to become um, less likely to get severely sick, or hopefully prevent you from getting sick at all, which is the optimal goal, obviously. But some people are more susceptible than others, and especially if you have family to live with you, or if you have kids, especially small kids, because they don't know anything about washing your hands, washing your face. They're just touch, 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 touch everything. They're moving around. They're going places. They're going to school. They're playing with other kids. They're on the playground. They're touching all these surfaces that don't get clean. They're touching stuff on the floor. They're putting it in their mouth. So kids, there are challenges, but again, um, it is not impossible, and it's not going to be. You don't have to be perfect all the time, but just be aware and be conscious, and of course, be physically active. All those components lining up together work as barriers to that cold, to that flu, to those viruses that a lot of people, tend to suffer from. So again, I can't emphasize it enough to make sure that you follow those components. Can't emphasize it enough to ask a question if you have one, and to come get some free education, and or especially if you are one of those people I just mentioned and you're not sure what to do, to make sure you hit us up at teamfitnessmajor.com, because again, the focus is to help you become a healthier, better you. But change begins with you. So you have to pick up the phone, or you have to open that laptop. You have to make that initial step, because if you don't, nobody knows you're out there. Nobody knows you need help. So take that initial step. Make sure that you are proactive and progressive in getting yourself on the right track to a healthy, fit life. Again, I hope you guys take all this in stride and take it with good health. Hope you took some notes. If you've tried any of those um, remedies, especially like that cold syrup, the cough syrup that I mentioned, or if you've tried any of the other remedies like the ginger and honey or anything like that, drop a line in the tab or hit me up and say, yeah, I tried it and it really worked, or I've tried it, didn't do anything, or that was a good one, thank you, I didn't ever heard of that before, I tried it, I gave it to my kids, and I gave it to my spouse or my friend, my mother, my father, and it worked. you know Again, always do your own research. This is not, I'm not preaching the gospel. I don't know everything, but it's not from a lack of trying, and a lack of um, me not looking to get the information. But the information I try to put out so you guys, the listeners, can make sure that you are informed and advised and making the best steps for you. Because again, the show is for you, is for you to benefit from. That being said, again, we appreciate everyone, and appreciate AG for bringing this together. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, donate. And we wish you all a safe and healthy rest of your week into next week, when we tune back in next Wednesday for your next Shit Talking Sundays fitness tip of the week with AG the Dad, and of course yours truly, Vince the Beast. Change begins with you, but you have to take that step. Make sure that you do, and I look forward to seeing you and or hearing from you in the near future. Peace.